What if the only thing standing between you and the success you want is how fast you build the right mindset? Imagine waking up every day feeling certain, focused, and ready to take action, even when fear or doubt tries to slow you down. How different would your life be if hesitation never held you back? In this video, you'll discover how to build a success mindset quickly so you can stop wasting time and start moving toward your goals with unstoppable confidence. I'm going to show you practical ways to crush doubt before it grows, feed your mind with powerful truth, and act fast enough to keep fear from catching up. If you're tired of feeling stuck, overwhelmed, or unsure, this is the wake-up call you need. Watch closely, because by the end, you'll be ready to take bold steps that change everything. Let's get started. Your future depends on it. Number 1, cut all excuses and start doing what matters now. You've wasted enough time telling yourself tomorrow will be different. But it's not tomorrow you need to fix. It's you, right now. You already know what needs to be done. You don't need another book. You don't need another podcast. You don't need anyone's approval. What you need is the courage to cut the nonsense, face the truth, and do what matters now. Excuses feel safe. They protect your ego. They make you feel less guilty about wasting time, less ashamed of being stuck, but you don't grow in that comfort. You rot in it. People around you may not say it to your face, but they feel it, that you've got more inside of you and you're not using it. And deep down, you know it too. You're not tired. You're not too busy. You're avoiding your life because it's easier to pretend you have no control than to admit that you're scared of stepping up. That's the truth. You've told yourself 100 times why it can't happen now, why the timing isn't right, why you're not ready, why the pressure is too much. But have you ever stopped and asked what would happen if you stopped lying to yourself? What if you stopped saying one day and made it day one? People say they want success, but they rarely want the cost that comes with it. It's not money that stops them. It's not time. It's the pain of responsibility. It's the fear of looking stupid. It's the terror of failure. So they build excuses like walls. I don't have the tools. I'm not a morning person. I've got too much going on. You've heard all of it. You've said all of it. And none of it ever got you where you wanted to go. The moment you cut your excuses, your real life begins. Because your excuses are the only thing standing between you and a mindset that gets things done. You think you're waiting for motivation? No. Motivation is waiting for you. It shows up after you move, after you do the thing you didn't feel like doing, after you break the pattern that's been holding you hostage, want to feel strong, get up when it's hard, want to feel proud, finish what you start, want to feel like your life matters, then start acting like it does. It's not complicated. It's just uncomfortable. That's why most people will never change. They want success without discomfort. They want confidence without discipline. They want freedom without sacrifice. And life doesn't work like that. You get what you tolerate. Tolerate excuses. And you'll live a life full of regret. Tolerate laziness. And you'll watch others take what could have been yours. Tolerate distraction. And your mind will never learn how to focus. You don't rise by chance. You rise by choice. And every excuse is a choice to stay small. Now think about how many days you've already lost. Not because someone else took them, but because you handed them away to fear, to doubt, to scrolling, to talking instead of acting. You didn't just lose time, you lost belief. Every time you said tomorrow, your mind believed you a little less. That's why you don't trust yourself anymore. That's why your goals feel fake. Because you've broken promises to yourself for so long that even you don't believe your own words. But that can change. Fast. If you start now, if you stop waiting for the perfect mood and start building discipline, you don't need more information. You don't need a new plan. You need a decision. A real one. The kind you follow through on when it's boring, when it's exhausting, when no one claps for you. The kind of decision that says, I'm not going back to who I was. Cutting excuses isn't about hustling 24/7s. It's about being real with yourself. It's about saying, I know I've wasted time, and I'm done. It's about realizing that the version of you who has the life you want, they don't make excuses. They get things done, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. You've got people around you who've already given up on themselves. Don't let them talk you into quitting too. Don't let comfort seduce you into wasting your potential. Don't let another week slip by with nothing to show but more guilt and more maybe next time. Start with one thing that you've been avoiding, one thing that matters. Maybe it's fixing your morning routine. Maybe it's showing up at the gym. Maybe it's writing the first page. Maybe it's having that hard conversation. Whatever it is, do it now. Don't negotiate with your brain. Just do it. Because here's the truth. Your mind changes when your actions change. When you act like a winner, your brain starts believing you're one. When you act like someone who gets things done, your mindset follows, not the other way around. You don't wait for belief. You build it, step by step, decision by decision, day by day. And when you cut the excuses, your energy changes. People notice. You walk differently. You speak differently. You stop caring about approval, and you start demanding more from yourself. You stop chasing comfort, and you start chasing progress. That's when your mindset turns into a weapon. That's when success starts speeding up. Because success moves fast for the ones who stop waiting. You want to win? Stop defending your limits. Stop looking for someone to save you. Stop saying if only and start saying I will. Don't explain why you can't. Prove why you can. This is the moment that counts. Not later. Not someday. This one. You're either building momentum or you're building regret. There is no middle. So make the call. Send the message. Write the page. Show up early. Go to bed on time. Follow the plan. Cut the excuse. Take the step. Do what matters. Start now. Not because it's easy, but because it's right. And because your future depends on it. The life you want doesn't respond to opinions. It responds to action. And every action you take without an excuse builds a mindset that nothing can break. Now prove to yourself what happens when you stop waiting and start moving. Number 2, fix your habits today and protect your future focus. You will never have peace of mind if your daily habits are stealing your future. If your routines are built on shortcuts, delays, and distractions, then so is your life. You cannot expect focus to magically show up in a world designed to pull you in every direction. It's your job to protect it. And the only way to protect your focus is to fix your habits right now, not later. The way you wake up sets the tone for the rest of your life. If you start the day lost in your phone, chasing dopamine instead of clarity, you are already training your mind to follow distraction. You think it's harmless. You think it's normal. But normal is not working. Most people are stressed, tired, behind, and they don't even realize that it's their daily habits crushing their mental clarity. They want better results, but they don't want to change what they do every day. That's the problem. You don't get a strong mind by chance. You build it with discipline. You build it with habits that sharpen your thinking instead of clouding it. If you keep telling yourself you'll get serious next week, you're handing your future to a lie. Every bad habit that feels small today grows into a major cost tomorrow. And the longer you delay change, the more you normalize failure. Your brain doesn't care what you say. It watches what you do. If your habits say, I avoid discomfort, then your brain learns to run from anything difficult. That's how people become mentally weak. Not from one bad day, but from years of tiny decisions that made life easier but made them weaker. You're not here to coast through life on autopilot. You're here to grow. You're here to evolve. You're here to win. But none of that can happen if your habits are draining your energy and training your brain to settle. Think about how much time you waste in a day. Not because you're lazy, but because your habits aren't built to protect your attention. You leave your mind open to anything and everything. Notifications, opinions, junk content, easy dopamine. And you wonder why you can't focus. Focus isn't a talent. It's a result. It's what happens when you cut the noise, set real boundaries, and build habits that put your attention where it needs to be. You think success is about working hard, and it is. But hard work without direction is just noise. You can run all day in the wrong direction. That's why your habits matter. They give you direction. They protect your mind from being hijacked by what doesn't matter. You want to be strong? Build habits that support strength. Go to bed on time. Wake up with a plan. Fuel your body with what energizes you, not what drains you. Move your body daily. Cut the mental junk food. gossip, drama, cheap entertainment, and replace it with real learning, real goals, real reflection. These are not rules. These are lifelines. Without them, you drift. You forget what matters. You chase empty goals and lose yourself along the way. If your mind is a battlefield, your habits are your shield. You don't fight doubt with motivation. You fight it with discipline, with routines that work, even when your emotions don't. Because feelings are inconsistent, but habits, when built with purpose, carry you through the days when your mind tries to pull you backward. Think about it. When was the last time you ended a day feeling proud? Not because it was easy, but because you stuck to what mattered. Those days don't happen by accident. They come from structure, from choices that align with your vision, from eliminating what weakens you and replacing it with what strengthens you. You already know what those things are. This isn't about learning more. This is about doing what you already know you should be doing. The pain of fixing your habits is temporary. The pain of ignoring them is permanent. The future version of you is being built right now in what you choose to repeat. If you choose to repeat procrastination, comfort, and avoidance, then your future will be filled with regret. But if you choose to repeat discipline, focus, and action, even when it's uncomfortable, then your future will be built on pride, peace, and power. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. You just need to stop making the same excuses. You need to stop calling your bad habits normal. You need to stop protecting what's keeping you stuck. People say they can't focus anymore, that their attention span is gone. But that's not the real issue. The issue is the habits they've built are designed to kill focus. They're reactive, not intentional. They reward distraction. They reward delay. And every time they reward that, their brain learns to seek it again. But here's the good news. Just like your brain learned distraction, it can relearn focus. Just like your habits trained you to avoid discomfort, they can train you to lean into it. But you have to take the first step. And the first step is honesty. Be honest about what you're doing every day. Be honest about the time you waste. Be honest about how many times you've promised yourself you'd change and didn't. That honesty is painful, but it's the beginning of freedom. You want to protect your future? Then protect your focus. And to protect your focus, you need to build habits that serve your goals, not your impulses. Set clear hours for work. Turn off what distracts you. Say no to anything that doesn't help you grow. Track what matters. Reflect daily. These aren't luxury habits. These are the difference between a scattered mind and a sharp one. If you don't build structure, your day will be built by chaos. You'll be pulled around by emotions, by notifications, by other people's urgency. And soon you won't even recognize the life you're living. You'll look around and wonder how things got so far off track. But by then you'll have years to clean up that you could have avoided by fixing your habits today. You know what to do. You've always known. You just keep looking for the easier path. The truth is, there is no easy path, but there is a clear one. And it starts with doing what you've been putting off. Right now. Not tomorrow. Not when it feels right. Right now. Because every second you wait is a second you fall further from the life you deserve. Make the call. Take the walk. Close the app. Clean your space. Plan your next move. Break the loop. You are not weak. You are just out of alignment with who you could be. And the fastest way to change that is to change what you do every day. There is no magic coming to fix your focus. There is no miracle waiting to clear your path. You are the solution. You are the answer. And you are in control of more than you've been acting like. The world is full of people who gave up on themselves because they never changed their habits. Don't be one of them. Fix your habits today and protect your future focus. You'll never regret choosing discipline. You'll only regret waiting too long to take it seriously. Start now, show up for yourself, and build the life that's waiting on the other side of your choices. Number 3, speak to yourself with honesty and mental toughness. You will never grow into the person you were meant to be if you keep lying to yourself. The truth is uncomfortable, but it's the only path forward. Until you look in the mirror and speak with honesty and mental toughness, nothing in your life will truly change. People spend years running from their own reflection, pretending they're okay, pretending they're trying, pretending they're focused, when deep down they know they've been hiding. You can't build a strong life on weak self-talk. What you tell yourself when nobody's watching shapes everything. This isn't about being hard on yourself. It's about being real. Because real growth begins the moment you stop sugarcoating your failures and start holding yourself to a higher standard. The problem is, most people avoid that conversation. They're afraid of what they might hear if they got honest. But the more you avoid truth, the more you stay stuck. You start lowering your standards just to feel comfortable with your choices. And the more you do that, the further you fall from the life you want. Mental toughness is not about being cold or numb. It's about having the courage to face hard truths without collapsing. It's being able to say, I'm not where I want to be, and it's on me. It's looking at your effort, your focus, your discipline, and calling it what it is. Not good enough. Not yet. Not consistent. Because without that honesty, you'll keep convincing yourself that average effort deserves extraordinary results, and it doesn't. Your life isn't waiting on motivation. It's waiting on you to stop making excuses, to stop covering weakness with nice words. You can't outsmart reality. You can't pretend your way into greatness. The longer you lie to yourself, the heavier your life gets. The more you tell yourself that you're trying when you're not, the more you build a wall between who you are and who you could be. But here's the truth. If you can talk yourself into comfort, you can talk yourself into discipline. If you can lie to feel safe, you can tell the truth to grow. You just have to make that decision. You have to choose to stop defending what's not working. Speak to yourself like someone who wants to win, not someone who wants to feel better in the moment. Ask yourself what you're avoiding. Ask yourself why you keep delaying change. Ask yourself if the way you live matches the future you say you want. And when you answer, do it without blame. No more pointing fingers. No more if-only stories. Own your part. Own your habits. Own your distractions. That's how you regain power. That's how you move forward. Life doesn't give strength to those who hide from the truth. Life gives strength to those who face it, even when it hurts. You've got to stop being scared of your own potential. Stop telling yourself you're not ready. Stop giving up when it gets tough. Mental toughness is built through pressure. Through days when it's easier to quit. Through moments when your mind wants to retreat, and you choose to step forward anyway. That kind of strength doesn't come from comfort. It comes from discipline, from truth, from confronting the weakest parts of yourself and choosing not to be ruled by them. Start calling yourself out when you lie. When you say, I'll do it tomorrow, but you know tomorrow never comes. When you say, I'm too tired, but deep down you know you've been wasting time on what doesn't matter. When you say, I gave it my best, but you didn't. You stopped when it got hard. You checked out when focus was needed most. That's where growth lives, in the space between what you say and what you actually do. And once you begin to close that gap, everything changes. You start trusting yourself again. You stop needing validation from others. You don't need someone to believe in you because you believe in yourself. Not with blind optimism, but with earned confidence. Confidence that comes from truth. From doing what you said you would do. From showing up when no one else sees it. From pushing when no one else would know. If you stopped, the world is full of talented people who talk themselves out of success. Not because they lacked ability, but because they lacked the discipline to face themselves. They waited for the right mood. They avoided hard conversations. They let feelings guide their decisions. But life doesn't care how you feel. It cares what you do. And if your self-talk is soft and forgiving in all the wrong moments, then your life will reflect that softness. The mind needs order. It needs clarity. And you don't get that by lying to yourself. You get that by telling the truth and doing something about it. If you're falling behind, say it. If you're losing focus, admit it. If you're making excuses, own it. Not to shame yourself, but to take back control. Because once you take ownership, now you have something you can build on. Now you can shift. Now you can act. Your future isn't waiting on motivation. It's waiting on clarity, on grit, on follow-through, on the kind of mindset that speaks truth in every situation, even when it's hard, even when it means calling out your own laziness, your own fear, your own distractions. Because once you start living from that kind of honesty, There's nothing you can't face. The setbacks don't break you. The pressure doesn't shake you. You've trained yourself to be real, and real always wins in the end. So speak to yourself like someone who expects more, like someone who's tired of the delay, tired of the lies, tired of pretending. Hold your mind to a higher standard. If your words don't push you, they're pulling you back. If your self-talk doesn't hold you accountable, it's giving you permission to settle. Stop giving yourself permission to stay weak. Start demanding strength from yourself. Speak words that build you, that challenge you, that push you beyond comfort. You don't need to be perfect, but you do need to be honest. You do need to show up. You do need to stop escaping into distractions, just to avoid the truth. Every time you escape the truth, you lose a piece of your future. But every time you speak it, you reclaim your power. Your life can change fast, but it starts with one shift. The moment you decide to speak to yourself with honesty and mental toughness, the moment you stop avoiding the truth and start living by it, that's when you take control. That's when things begin to move. That's when momentum begins. So speak clearly. Speak with purpose. Speak like someone who is done making excuses. And let every word push you toward the life you deserve. Speak to yourself like a leader, like a builder, like a fighter. And the world will start to reflect that mindset. But it all starts in your own head. It starts right now. Number 4, create a goal that scares and excites you deeply. If your goal doesn't make your heart race and your stomach twist with nerves, it's not the one that will change your life. The right goal is supposed to scare you a little. It's supposed to make you uncomfortable. That fear, that's not weakness. It's the exact signal that you've tapped into something powerful. You've touched the edge of what you believe you're capable of, and now it's testing you. That's the kind of goal that wakes you up in the morning with purpose and keeps you up at night with excitement. That's the one that rewires your mind and forces you to become more. The truth is, most people avoid this kind of goal. They settle for what's convenient, for what feels safe. They choose comfort over challenge. And then they wonder why life feels empty, why every day starts to blur into the next, why nothing they do really moves the needle. It's because they stopped aiming for something that pushed them. And if you're not being pushed, you're not growing. You don't need another to-do list. You don't need more planning. You need to decide what you want so badly that you're willing to go through anything to get it. A goal that scares and excites you is the fastest way to unlock that kind of drive. It puts urgency in your day. It forces you to sharpen your focus. It strips away distractions. Because now there's something at stake. And when something's at stake, your effort changes. Your mindset changes. You stop wasting time, because time suddenly matters. So ask yourself, what's the goal that you've been avoiding? The one you always think about, but never write down. The one you keep in the back of your mind, because part of you doesn't think you're ready for it. That's the one. That's the target that will bring the best out of you. The one that will break the patterns that have kept you stuck. But you have to stop tiptoeing around it. You have to be bold enough to name it and brave enough to chase it. You don't need permission to want something bigger. You don't need to explain why you dream the way you do. And you definitely don't need to wait until you feel ready. Nobody feels ready. Every person who's ever done something great started from the same place: doubt, fear, uncertainty. But they decided to move anyway. They stopped negotiating with fear. They made a pact with discipline, not comfort. And I know what you're thinking. What if I try and I fail? That's the wrong question. The real danger is not failing. It's never trying. It's looking back 10 years from now and realizing you played it safe. You stayed small. You let fear dictate your limits. That kind of regret will stay with you far longer than any failure ever could. Success is not reserved for the lucky or the gifted. It's built by the ones who dare to raise their standards, the ones who stop setting goals that they know they can hit, and start setting goals that require them to change. That kind of goal doesn't just change your results. It changes your identity. You don't just accomplish something. You become someone new in the process. Stronger, sharper, more driven, more alive. But here's the catch. That goal isn't going to show up in your life by accident. You have to design it. You have to make it specific, clear, measurable. You have to write it down and revisit it every day. Because the moment you stop thinking about it is the moment it starts to fade. And if your vision fades, your actions lose power. Your choices lose urgency. Your discipline weakens. People say they want success, but their goals are vague. They say, I want to be better, or I want more out of life. That's not a goal. That's a wish. You want to build a success mindset fast? Get serious about what you want. Get clear. Get precise. Decide exactly what it looks like, what it feels like, and what it will cost you to get there. Then commit. Not just with words, but with actions, with sacrifice, with consistency. You want to change your life? Pick a goal that demands more from you than who you are right now. Pick a goal that forces you to change your habits, your mindset, your priorities. A goal that makes you look at the way you've been living and realize it's not enough anymore. That's when the shift begins. That's when you start walking differently, talking differently, thinking differently. And don't wait for motivation to carry you. It won't. Discipline will. And discipline is born the moment you make a decision that's bigger than your mood. A goal that scares and excites you gives discipline a reason to exist. You start doing things not because they feel good, but because they move you forward. That's when everything changes. You'll lose people who don't understand your ambition. You'll miss out on things that used to entertain you. You'll have to choose focus over fun more times than you want. But every time you do, you get closer. Every sacrifice builds momentum. Every disciplined choice becomes a deposit in your future. And the beauty of it is, once you get a taste of progress, you don't want to stop. That scary goal turns into a lifestyle. It stops being about the result and starts being about who you're becoming. You stop being afraid of fear because you realize it's been guiding you toward growth the whole time. You stop shrinking your dreams to fit your comfort zone. Instead, you stretch your life to fit your vision. So if there's a voice inside you telling you to go for more, listen to it. Don't push it down. Don't drown it out with distractions. That voice is trying to lead you somewhere bigger, somewhere bolder. You were not made to live in neutral. You were not made to settle for the average life. You were made to build something powerful, starting with your mindset. Now's the time. Not next week. Not when it's easier. Not when you feel more confident. The only way you get that confidence is by doing the thing that scares you. So set the goal, own it, chase it, and don't stop until it's real. You've got more in you than you've ever let out. Now it's time to prove it. Set the goal that changes everything. The one that forces you to grow. The one that brings your potential to the surface. Not tomorrow. Today. Right now. Because the clock is ticking and your future self is waiting. Number 5. Take full control of your choices without blaming anyone. The moment you stop blaming others is the moment you reclaim the power that changes your entire life. It's easy to point fingers, to say it's someone else's fault, the system, your upbringing, or circumstances beyond your control. But every time you do, you give away your power and lock yourself into a cage of excuses. True freedom begins when you look yourself in the mirror and own every choice you've made, no matter how difficult or uncomfortable that truth may be. Taking full control means standing up and saying, "This is on me," and from that place, your life shifts in ways you never imagined. Imagine for a second how your life would feel if you embraced that level of responsibility. No more waiting for someone to fix things for you. No more hoping that your luck changes. You become the architect of your reality, building every moment with deliberate intention. This is not about perfection or beating yourself up for past mistakes. It's about empowerment, the kind that fuels relentless action and unwavering commitment. Blaming others is a comfortable trap, disguised as justification. It's a way to avoid the discomfort of growth, the pain of facing your shortcomings, and the challenge of changing your habits. But here's the truth. Every person who has transformed their life started by accepting responsibility for their actions. They didn't wait for validation or a perfect environment. They chose to act in spite of their circumstances and understood that their response to life's challenges was the only thing they could control. When you own your choices, you break free from victimhood. You stop being a passenger on a roller coaster controlled by others, and you become the driver, steering your path with clarity and purpose. This shift rewires your mindset from one of helplessness to one of mastery. It forces you to see obstacles not as barriers, but as invitations to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. It's natural to feel resistance to this idea. Accepting full responsibility can feel heavy, like carrying a burden too big for one person. But that weight is actually your power in disguise. It's the weight of your life, your future, and your potential resting squarely in your hands. No one else can carry it for you, and no one else is more qualified. This ownership fuels confidence and ignites a fire inside that propels you beyond excuses and distractions. Think about the last time you blamed someone or something for your situation. How much energy did it cost you? How often did you feel stuck, frustrated, or powerless after that? Now imagine redirecting all that energy inward, not to beat yourself up, but to ask the hard questions. What can I do differently? What choices led me here? What can I change right now? That internal dialogue is the birthplace of growth and breakthrough. Taking control doesn't mean you ignore external factors. Life throws curveballs, unfair circumstances, and setbacks. But it means you refuse to let those define your story. You adapt, learn, and find ways to push forward, despite the chaos around you. You become a strategist, not a victim. You stop looking for scapegoats and start finding solutions. This mindset is what separates those who complain from those who conquer. Every choice you make is a statement about who you are and who you want to become. When you accept this, every moment becomes an opportunity to practice mastery over your reactions and decisions. You develop mental toughness and resilience, knowing that your power lies in your response, not in the situation itself. This builds a foundation so strong that no external force can shake it. It's also important to understand that this process is not about blaming yourself either. It's not about self-criticism or guilt. It's about honest reflection and learning. It's about taking an unfiltered look at your role in your life's narrative and saying, I'm responsible for the next chapter. That is where true transformation begins. Look around at the people you admire most, the ones who seem unstoppable and unshakable. What do they have in common? They own their lives. They don't wait for perfect timing or ideal conditions. They accept that setbacks are part of the journey, but they never hand over their power to circumstances or other people. This level of ownership creates an unstoppable momentum that pushes them through the hardest days. When you take full control, your mindset becomes your greatest weapon. You stop reacting and start responding. You create space between stimulus and action, where your power lives. This space is where you choose growth instead of fear, courage instead of comfort, and action instead of excuses. Every time you practice this, you strengthen your ability to stay focused and resilient in the face of life's challenges. And here's the best part. This mindset spreads. When you own your choices, you inspire those around you to do the same. You create a ripple effect of responsibility and empowerment in your relationships, your work, and your community. Your example becomes a beacon that encourages others to break free from blame and step into their own power. But none of this starts without a decision. You have to decide right now in this moment that you will no longer hand over your power to external forces. You must commit to looking at every situation, every result, and every feeling with brutal honesty and mental toughness. When you do, you set a new standard for yourself, one that demands accountability and rewards discipline. This is the key to unlocking the life you've always wanted. The key that most people never find because they're too busy blaming, avoiding responsibility, and waiting for change to happen to them. But not you. You're different. You're ready to take control. You're ready to stop the endless cycle of excuses and start building the future you deserve. So here's your challenge. The next time something doesn't go your way, don't look outside for who to blame. Look inside for what you can learn. Ask yourself what you can do differently next time. Take ownership of your choices and commit to making better ones. This is how you grow stronger, sharper, and more in command of your destiny. Your life is the sum of the choices you make. If you want to change your life, start by taking control of every choice. It won't be easy. It won't always be comfortable. But it will be worth it, because the person who owns their life can never be defeated. Now is your moment to step into that power. Make the decision, own your choices, and watch how your world transforms when you refuse to blame and choose to lead yourself instead. Your future depends on it. Don't wait for someone else to fix it. You are the fix. You are the change. Take control now. Number 6, push through resistance until your effort becomes normal. The struggle you feel right now, that heavy weight pushing against your every move, is not a sign that you should quit. It's the signal that you're on the edge of something extraordinary. Resistance is the invisible wall that stands between who you are today and who you're destined to become. The secret no one tells you is that the moment you push through that wall, the unbearable effort becomes your new normal. What once drained you becomes the fuel that powers your rise. This is the threshold where ordinary people break down and champions break through. Every powerful transformation begins in discomfort. When you first start, every step forward can feel like climbing a mountain. Your muscles scream, your mind resists, and your heart wants to retreat. The first days, weeks, even months of effort are riddled with moments when quitting seems easier, when doubt creeps in like a thief in the night. But there's a reason those moments exist. They test your commitment. They measure your hunger. They reveal how much you truly want it. Imagine the first time you learned to ride a bike. The falls, the scraped knees, the frustration. It all felt impossible. But then, at some point, your body learned to balance. The struggle became effortless. You didn't have to think about it anymore. You pedaled, steered, and glided with a new confidence. That transition from struggle to flow is exactly what happens when you push past resistance in any area of your life. The challenge is that most people stop before reaching that point. They quit when the effort is hardest, convinced it's a sign that they're not meant for success. But the truth is, resistance is just the process of your brain and body rewiring for growth. It's your own internal system recalibrating to handle something bigger, something better. If you give up, you rob yourself of the chance to evolve. You deny yourself the breakthrough, waiting just beyond the pain. When you commit to pushing through resistance, you develop a new kind of strength, one that isn't just physical or mental, but spiritual. It's the strength to face discomfort with courage, to keep showing up when your emotions scream to run away. That strength becomes a foundation, a fortress against future setbacks. You don't just get stronger, you become unstoppable. There's a profound psychological shift that happens as you make effort your habit. What once was a battle becomes a rhythm. Your mind stops seeing challenge as a threat and starts seeing it as a signal to engage. The daily grind no longer feels like a punishment, but like a promise you keep to yourself. This is when progress accelerates, when growth becomes exponential, and when your dreams start to feel real. Resistance isn't just external. It lives inside you as doubt, fear, and uncertainty. It whispers lies about your worth, your ability, and your future. But those lies only have power if you listen. Pushing through means silencing those voices and replacing them with one unwavering truth. I am capable, I am worthy, and I will not quit. That truth becomes your anthem, your shield, and your driving force. One of the greatest gifts of persistence is patience. When you push through resistance, you learn that transformation isn't instant. It's a process. Every day you show up, every time you refuse to give in, you're building momentum. That momentum compounds, just like interest in a bank account. What seemed insignificant in the moment becomes monumental over time. Think of resistance as a test of your dedication to your future self. Each time you push forward when it's hard, you're sending a message. I respect my dreams more than my temporary discomfort. You're creating a habit of discipline that shapes not just your actions, but your identity. You become someone who doesn't quit, who faces obstacles head on, and who believes in the power of effort. It's also important to recognize that pushing through doesn't mean ignoring your body or mind. It means understanding your limits while refusing to let them define you. It means resting when needed, but never surrendering your vision. It means using setbacks as feedback, not failure. This balance between persistence and self-care is what creates sustainable progress. As you keep pushing, you'll notice a change in how you view challenges. What used to intimidate you starts to excite you because you know you have the strength to overcome it. Resistance becomes less of a wall and more of a doorway. It invites you to step into a higher version of yourself. That doorway leads to confidence, mastery, and a life lived on your own terms. Imagine looking back a year from now. Imagine the pride you'll feel knowing you refused to quit when things got tough. Imagine the stories you'll tell yourself about the battles you fought and won. That future self is waiting for you to take action today. The effort you make now is the foundation of the success and fulfillment you crave. You don't have to love the struggle to succeed. You just have to love the outcome enough to keep moving forward anyway. The difference between those who reach their goals and those who don't isn't talent or luck. It's the willingness to push past resistance until effort becomes habit, and habit becomes second nature. So when you feel the pull to stop, when your mind screams that it's too hard, remember this: resistance is temporary, but the reward for pushing through is forever. Your persistence today writes the story of your tomorrow. Don't settle for being someone who gave up. Be the person who fought for every inch and made greatness inevitable. Now, it's your turn. Embrace the struggle. Face the resistance head on. Show up every day until the effort that once seemed impossible becomes your normal. When you do, you won't just change your life. You'll transform it completely. Keep pushing. Keep growing. Your breakthrough is on the other side of resistance. Make the choice to go after it relentlessly. Your future self will thank you for it. Number 7, stop wasting energy on things that don't grow you. If you keep pouring your energy into things that don't push you forward, you're robbing yourself of the chance to become the person you're meant to be. Every moment spent on distractions, meaningless worries, or shallow pursuits is a moment stolen from your growth, from your potential, and from your future. The harsh truth is that time and energy are the most valuable resources you have, and wasting them on things that don't expand your mind, your skills, or your character is the fastest way to stay stuck in a life that feels small and unfulfilling. Think about the last time you caught yourself scrolling endlessly on your phone or stressing over something that didn't actually matter. How did that leave you? Drained, frustrated, maybe even a little empty. That feeling isn't a coincidence. It's your soul's way of telling you that you're running low on fuel because you've been spending your precious energy in the wrong places. The things that don't grow you will never fill the void or satisfy your deeper hunger. They only drain you further. There's a powerful shift that happens the moment you decide to stop wasting energy on what holds you back. You begin to notice how many moments in your day are hijacked by things that don't serve your purpose, conversations that spiral into negativity, tasks that don't align with your goals, habits that numb your ambition. These are the silent thieves of your potential. They steal your focus and scatter your power. But once you see this clearly, you can take control. Imagine your energy like a currency that you can spend only once. What if you made a conscious choice to invest that currency only in what grows you? Your skills, your mindset, your relationships that lift you higher. When you allocate your time and effort to these growth-focused areas, something magical happens. Your progress accelerates. Your confidence builds. You become magnetic to opportunities and people who share your vision. It's not just about cutting out distractions, but about actively cultivating what strengthens you. This means saying no to anything that doesn't add value or challenge you to improve. It means surrounding yourself with influences that inspire courage and resilience, rather than doubt and complacency. Growth demands your full presence and dedication, and anything less than that is a slow drift toward mediocrity. The challenge most people face is that they don't realize how much energy they waste on invisible drains. It's easy to justify spending hours on trivial worries or meaningless arguments because it feels like activity. But being busy isn't the same as being productive or growing. Growth requires intentional action, not just motion. Your mind must be guarded against these energy leaks to keep your spirit vibrant and your purpose clear. There's an emotional cost to wasting energy on unproductive things. Every time you give your attention to fear, doubt, or distraction, you're feeding a cycle that keeps you small. You may find yourself stuck in repetitive patterns, feeling frustrated that change never comes. But here's the key insight. Energy follows attention. Where you focus, you grow. If your attention is scattered, your growth will be scattered too. Take a moment to examine your daily habits. What are the things you do that don't stretch you or bring you closer to your dreams? Are you caught in habits that provide comfort but no challenge? Are there people in your life who drain your energy with negativity or drama? The willingness to face these questions honestly is a sign of true strength. Growth is not about comfort, it's about courage. The courage to prune what no longer serves and to invest deeply in what nurtures your potential. This doesn't mean you need to be relentless or harsh on yourself. Growth is a balance of discipline and compassion. It means gently steering your energy toward what nourishes you, not what depletes you. It means understanding that some days will be harder than others, and that's okay. The key is that your overall trajectory moves forward, fueled by deliberate choices about where your energy goes. The process of stopping energy waste is like clearing out a cluttered room. At first, it might feel uncomfortable as you confront what no longer fits your vision. But as you clear space, you create room for new possibilities, new habits, and new successes. That clarity lets you move with intention rather than being dragged by old patterns or distractions. One of the most powerful ways to protect your energy is to become aware of your internal dialogue. Negative self-talk or excessive worry is a major drain. When you notice those thoughts, challenge them. Replace them with truths that empower and uplift. Your mind is your most valuable tool. Keep it sharp, focused, and aligned with your goals. Energy spent on resentment, blame, or regret is energy lost forever. You cannot grow while carrying the weight of past mistakes or holding grudges. Freedom comes when you release those burdens and redirect your energy toward building the future you want. Forgiveness, whether of yourself or others, is a radical act of self-care and growth. Every choice you make about where your energy flows is an investment in your future self. The small decisions, what you watch, who you talk to, how you respond to challenges, compound into the reality you live in. When you commit to cutting out energy drains, you're not just improving today, you're setting the stage for unstoppable momentum tomorrow. Imagine a life where your energy is reserved for what matters, creating, learning, loving, and expanding. A life where distractions lose their grip and your focus sharpens like a laser. This life is not a dream, it's a choice away. And that choice starts with recognizing what wastes your energy and deciding to let it go. The first step is awareness. Start tracking where your energy goes for a few days. Notice the times you feel drained or distracted. Then begin to shift. Set clear boundaries around your time and attention. Protect your mental and emotional space fiercely. Say no to the things that don't push you toward growth, no matter how comfortable or easy they seem. Remember, growth doesn't always feel good in the moment, but it always feels powerful afterward. When you stop wasting energy on what doesn't grow you, you create a life filled with purpose, progress, and passion. You become a force to be reckoned with, not because you never struggle, but because you choose to fight for what lifts you higher every single day. So today, make the choice to protect your energy like the treasure it is. Refuse to let distractions steal your dreams. Invest deeply in yourself. The path to greatness demands that you stop draining your spirit on things that hold you back and instead fuel your journey with purpose and intention. Your growth is waiting. Don't waste another moment. Number 8. Act confident. Even when fear screams in your mind. Fear will scream in your mind. But what separates those who win from those who lose is the courage to act confident anyway. That trembling voice inside telling you to back down, to doubt yourself, to stay small. It's loud, but it doesn't own you. The moment you decide to walk forward despite that roar, you begin to rewrite your story. Confidence isn't the absence of fear. It's the decision to show up with courage when fear wants to shut you down. Think back to a time when fear had you frozen. Maybe it was a chance to speak up, to make a move, or to chase a dream. Your heart pounded, your mind spun with what ifs, and every instinct screamed to retreat. But what if, just for that moment, you had acted as if you were confident? Imagine how the situation might have shifted, how people's eyes would have followed you, how your own body would have straightened, and how the fear would start to lose its power. Confidence is a skill, not a trait you're born with. It's built on practice, not perfection. The real power lies in acting confident, long before you feel it. This is not about pretending or faking, but about choosing your response in the face of fear. You give yourself permission to be bold, to speak clearly, to hold space for yourself. even when inside you feel vulnerable. That choice creates momentum and reshapes your identity. Every person you admire, leaders, artists, athletes, has stared down fear. They felt the anxiety, the self-doubt, the paralyzing worry. What set them apart was their refusal to let fear decide their actions. They acted as if they belonged, as if they were capable, even when every nerve told them otherwise. This is how you grow from fearful to fearless, one deliberate action after another. Fear's loudest weapon is making you believe that it's safer to stay quiet, to blend in, to wait for the right moment that never comes. But confidence demands you break that pattern. It asks you to move forward with your head held high, your voice steady, your heart open. In those moments, your body sends signals to your brain that you are in control, shifting the balance away from panic toward power. You don't have to wait for fear to disappear. It will always be there, lurking at the edges of your mind. But when you learn to act confident anyway, you harness a power far greater than the fear itself. This power grows every time you choose to lean into discomfort, to speak your truth, and to take action despite your doubts. Your brain starts to rewire itself, making confidence your default state rather than a fleeting feeling. One practical step is to control your physical presence. When fear threatens to take over, stand tall, breathe deeply, and make eye contact. These small, intentional acts send a message to your nervous system that you are safe and capable. Your posture and tone become the armor that shields you from fear's attack. Over time, your body will learn to carry confidence as naturally as breathing. It's also important to acknowledge your fear without letting it dictate your actions. Fear is an indicator, a signal that you're stepping into growth. Instead of resisting it or trying to push it away, honor it, then redirect your focus. Think about what you want to achieve, who you want to become, and let that vision fuel your movement forward. Acting confident is the bridge that connects your fearful thoughts to the life you desire. You might stumble, falter, or feel awkward in the beginning. And that's okay. Confidence doesn't mean you're perfect. It means you refuse to be stopped by imperfection. It means that even if your voice shakes, you speak anyway. Even if your hands tremble, you keep moving. The more you do this, the easier it becomes. Fear loses its grip because it's no longer the driver of your choices. This is not just about personal achievement. It's about reclaiming your power. When you act confident in the face of fear, you tell the world and yourself that you deserve your place. You disrupt the pattern of self-doubt and silence that keeps so many trapped in their own minds. Every time you choose confidence, you build an unshakable foundation of self-trust that propels you through future challenges. Remember, acting confident doesn't mean ignoring your feelings. It means you choose your response despite them. The real courage is in showing up authentically and vulnerably, while holding space for your fears without letting them control you. That tension between fear and confidence is where growth lives, where transformation happens. Your mind might scream lies, telling you you're not good enough, that you'll fail, that you'll be exposed. But those are just stories, not truths. You have the power to rewrite those stories with every step you take forward. Confidence grows in the moments you refuse to hide, when you speak your truth, and when you keep moving, even when your body wants to freeze. This journey won't be easy. Fear will challenge you relentlessly. But the path to true confidence is paved by those who act despite fear, not those who wait for fear to pass. Each time you choose action, you train your mind to trust your strength, your resilience, and your worthiness. You prove to yourself that you are bigger than your fears. So start now. Stand up, breathe deep, and take that step. Speak out loud, hold your head high, and show up as the person you want to be. Act confident not because you are fearless, but because you refuse to let fear rule your life. This choice is the seed from which unstoppable courage and genuine confidence will grow. You were born to be bold. Let your actions be louder than your fears. When fear screams, answer with confident steps forward. That is how you claim your power, transform your life, and inspire others to do the same. Your moment to act is now. Don't let fear steal another second. Number 9. Feed your mind daily with truth, not distractions. Your mind is a garden, and what you plant today will determine the harvest of your tomorrow. Feed it with truth, not distractions, or watch your potential wilt beneath the weight of noise. Every moment you let your attention drift toward empty chatter, meaningless scrolling, or toxic narratives, you give away your power. The choice to nourish your mind with truth is the most profound investment you can make in yourself, because your thoughts shape your reality. Your beliefs dictate your actions, and your future is built on what you consume mentally every day. Imagine waking up each morning and choosing to fill your mind with clarity, wisdom, and purpose, instead of confusion, overwhelm, and fear. What would that feel like? What possibilities would open when your mental energy is directed toward what truly matters? Truth is not always comfortable. It demands that you confront your weaknesses, face your fears, and challenge your long-held illusions. But the pain of truth is the pain of growth. It's the only way to become stronger, wiser, and unstoppable. Distractions are seductive because they offer a quick escape from reality, a momentary lull from the pressure to improve. But every time you choose distraction over truth, you step farther away from the life you want. You become trapped in a cycle of wasted time, lost energy, and mounting regret. The problem is not that distractions exist. The problem is that we let them hijack our attention and steal the fuel meant for our dreams. Think about the last time you felt overwhelmed by negativity or confusion. What were you feeding your mind before that moment? Was it mindless scrolling through social media, absorbing gossip and fear? Was it consuming endless streams of entertainment that left you empty? Or was it filling yourself with powerful ideas, uplifting stories, an honest reflection that sharpened your focus and spirit? Truth is the light that cuts through the fog of distraction. It reveals what's real, what's valuable, and what's necessary. When you commit to feeding your mind daily with truth, you build a fortress of resilience and clarity around yourself. Your thoughts become aligned with your goals, your emotions stabilize, and your energy sharpens. You start to notice what truly deserves your time and what doesn't. Your choices become deliberate, and your path becomes clearer. But how do you begin this transformation? It starts with awareness, recognizing how much mental clutter you allow in each day. This is uncomfortable because the brain craves stimulation, and distractions are designed to hijack your dopamine system. You might feel a pull toward old habits of avoidance and escape. This is where discipline meets courage. The courage to shut down the noise, and the discipline to replace it with intentional nourishment. Replace random scrolling with reading a passage that inspires growth. Swap watching aimless videos for listening to a podcast that challenges your thinking. Turn off notifications that demand your attention without adding value. Surround yourself with voices that uplift, educate, and provoke meaningful reflection. These choices, though small, accumulate like compound interest in your mind. It is vital to realize that feeding your mind with truth is not about perfection or avoiding all entertainment. It's about prioritizing what fuels your soul over what drains it. It means recognizing that your mental diet directly impacts your mood, decisions, and progress. If you want to be sharper, calmer, and more effective, you must treat your mind like the precious resource it is. Sometimes, the truth you need to hear will challenge your ego. It will confront your excuses and demand honesty. You might resist at first because comfort lies in familiar lies and distractions. But real growth never happens inside comfort zones. Feeding your mind with truth means being willing to look at yourself without flinching, to admit where you have fallen short, and to commit to doing better. As you practice this daily, your mindset shifts. You become less reactive to external chaos because your internal foundation is solid. You develop a clarity that guides your decisions, a focus that drives your actions, and a confidence that comes from knowing you are building your life on firm ground. You no longer chase every shiny object, but instead pursue the rare gems of wisdom and insight that will lift you higher. This journey also rewires your brain. Neuroplasticity shows us that our thoughts create pathways. By choosing to feed your mind with truth, you strengthen pathways that support resilience, creativity, and positivity. Over time, distractions lose their grip because your brain no longer craves them as a source of stimulation. Instead, you crave growth, learning, and self-mastery. Your environment matters too. The people you surround yourself with, the content you consume, and the habits you cultivate all influence the quality of your mental diet. Create boundaries that protect your mind. Choose relationships that inspire honesty and accountability. Seek out mentors, books, and experiences that expand your perspective. This ecosystem will reinforce your commitment to feed your mind with what grows you. Remember, your mind is the command center of your life. Every action, every feeling, every decision originates there. If the input is cluttered and false, your output will reflect confusion and lack of progress. But if you fuel your mind with truth, clear, purposeful, and challenging, you set yourself up for breakthroughs and transformation that others only dream of. You hold the power to decide what fills your mind. Will you choose fleeting distractions that drain your energy, or will you embrace the difficult but rewarding path of truth that leads to freedom? The answer to that question will define your future more than anything else. Start today by carving out moments to feed your mind with wisdom. Turn off the noise, pick up the truth, and watch as your life aligns with the highest version of yourself. Don't wait for motivation to strike or the perfect moment to arrive. The power lies in consistent daily choices. With each intentional decision to consume truth, you build momentum, sharpen your focus, and strengthen your spirit. You create a mental environment where greatness is not just possible but inevitable. This is your invitation to claim your mind, to protect it fiercely, and to feed it relentlessly with what elevates you. Your potential is limitless when your mind is clear and nourished by truth. Make that commitment now. Begin this powerful journey of transformation and watch your life change from the inside out. Your future self will thank you for the courage you show today. Number 10. Move fast on your plan before doubt catches you. Doubt is a thief that sneaks in the moment you hesitate, stealing your dreams before they can even take shape. If you wait for certainty, you'll wait forever. The only way to outpace the crippling voice of doubt is to move fast. Strike decisively before that whisper turns into a roar and paralyzes your every step. Think about the times you stood frozen, unsure, caught in the storm of your own mind. Maybe it was the fear of failing, the uncertainty of the unknown, or the overwhelming weight of judgment that stopped you cold. Those moments are like quicksand. The longer you linger, the deeper you sink, until you believe your dreams were never meant to be. But what if you flipped the script? What if you acted boldly, swiftly, before the doubts could gather their strength? Speed creates momentum, and momentum drowns out fear. When you move fast on your plan, you leave no room for hesitation to settle in. The more you delay, the louder doubt becomes, turning your inner dialogue into a battlefield where fear always seems to win. There is a powerful story that illustrates this truth. A young artist dreamed of sharing her work with the world, but was trapped in endless preparation, polishing and planning. Each day she found reasons to wait. She wasn't ready, the timing wasn't perfect, or she feared rejection. But one day, she decided to release her art swiftly, without waiting for perfection. The impact was immediate. The world responded. Opportunities flooded in and her confidence soared. That first swift move was the spark that ignited everything. This is the secret many never understand. Action, quick, decisive action, is the antidote to doubt. It doesn't mean reckless decisions or ignoring risks, but rather refusing to let fear hold the reins. When you launch your plan with speed, you gain clarity. Action reveals the truth faster than endless thought ever could. You'll see what works, what needs change, and what's worth your effort. Doubt thrives in silence and inactivity, but withers under the spotlight of movement. Moving fast forces you into reality. It shakes the ground beneath your feet and forces you to adapt. Every successful person you admire knows this. Waiting breeds second guessing. Hesitation leads to missed chances. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is often not talent or luck, but the speed at which they commit to their vision. There's also a psychological edge at play. When you act quickly, your brain registers progress, which fuels motivation and reduces anxiety. Momentum becomes your ally. And each step forward builds confidence that smothers the voice of doubt. The faster you move, the harder it is for your mind to retreat into excuses or worst-case scenarios. Fear and doubt are natural. They signal risk and uncertainty. But risk is the price of growth. When you move fast, you embrace risk with courage instead of letting it imprison you. You show yourself that you can handle the unknown. You learn that failure is not the end, but a lesson. You prove to yourself that your dreams are worth chasing despite the fear. Many people get stuck in the trap of overthinking, hoping to solve every unknown before starting. But life rarely offers guarantees. Waiting for perfect conditions is a mirage. You'll always find reasons to delay.